So, okay. Hey, Bubba. Oh, you're so hairy. Hey, Bubba. What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to have you back here with me today because today I'm going to be sharing with you 14 exercises that my physical therapist told me to do in order to completely eliminate the pain that I was experiencing with regards to ITB syndrome and patellar tendonitis. Now, if you haven't already known, I have a video on this which you can find right here that details my journey with patellar tendonitis and ITB syndrome. And as you may or may not know, this was a huge limiting factor when it came to finishing my first full Ironman, which was a major goal that I had set to achieve before the age of 30. Now, I did achieve that goal, and it's thanks to this physical therapy plan, and I'm going to share this with you. Maybe save you thousands of dollars and just share with you what I received as my personal physical therapy exercises to help with my patellar tendonitis and ITB syndrome, which I no longer have. Now, it's really important to consult with your doctor or sports doctor or physical therapist yourself before you embark on any sort of physical therapist journey. A lot of people don't want to talk about this, but it's really important because speaking to you here on YouTube, I don't know your physical journey. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what certain sort of ailments you're going through. You might not have patellar tendonitis, you might not have ITB syndrome, in which case these exercises might not help you. But if you do, then you've come to the right place because these exercises will not do any harm. If you're doing them properly, then they should only help your situation. But again, take my words with a grain of salt. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physical therapist, I'm not a personal trainer. So this is just what my physical therapist told me to do, and it's what really helps me personally. Now, even past the Ironman, I continue to do these exercises every single day when it comes to training for a triathlon or a road race. It's been 2 years since my full Ironman, and I find by incorporating these workouts into my strength routine, I've been able to avoid injury when it comes to all the Ironmans that I've done past that full first Ironman where I was experiencing a lot of issues leading up to. The strengthening you do before your workout and the stretching you do after your workout is really, really important if you want to ensure an injury-free, really fun, and feel-good kind of race. I've raced around 12 or so half Ironman races, 1 full Ironman, countless sprints, and Olympic triathlons as well. So I know a thing or two when it comes to triathlon training, Ironman training, that sort of thing. But again, I'm not a pro, so this is just what helped me. I'm gonna go ahead and put these on the screen so you can follow along if you'd like. And without further ado, let's dive in. All right, so the reason why the camera is actually facing down like this is because I want to show you over here my setup. I have a lot of gadgets here. You don't need all of them, but if you are actually really serious about rehab and physical therapy, then you do want to ensure that you have a few of these. You can pick these up on Amazon or CVS or your local Walmart, whatever it might be. But these are really important to have to help with the recovery process and to ensure the prevention of injury when it comes to training for a race. So first and foremost, this is a glute band, and this is a pretty strong glute band. How you want to use this is you want to put it kind of right above your knees like so. And I'm going to show you how to use this glute band when it comes to glute activation workouts for physical therapy. This is known as a resistance band, and this thing I have hanging off of it is actually something you can use for resistance training. You can put it in the back of the door and you can do all sorts of exercises, but let's ignore that for now. We won't really need that. If you step on the resistance band and hold it perpendicular to your hips, you're going to be using this in various elements as well for the exercises. This is a foam roller, and this is really important. Now, I got this on Amazon, and inside of it had a foam roller that was not rigid like this, so that is something that you would want to start off with. You don't want to really start off with this rigid sort of foam roller if you're just getting into physical therapy. I got this on Amazon, I think it was around 20 bucks, and it's really great to travel with as well. Now, this is another type of resistance band. It doesn't have ties at the other end, so there's plenty of different ways where you can use this band. I will link all of these down in the description box below. However, this band is really great for certain hip exercises. It's got a lot of flexibility to it, which is great. This right here is Hyper Ice Massager, essentially. There are different brands where you can find these sort of massagers. Essentially, you turn it on. There's 3 different variants right there: easy, medium, hard. And there's different areas where you can use this sort of massager. And it's really beneficial for rehab and prevention of injury. And I'll show you that as well. I forget what this is called, but it's in the description box below. But this is really great for your feet. You want to talk about stability and mobility and ankle strengthening and flexibility and kind of pinpointing certain areas in the foot, which is really important when it comes to running. So I'll show you guys how to use this in a sec as well. Last but not least, this is not essential, but it's something that's really helped me. It's a power dot electromagnetic kind of stimulation, and it really helps. For those of you out there who are really hardcore into training, this could help you as well. Again, something you might want to add into your rehab routine. All right, so as I've said before, I've spent a lot of money on physical therapy and also strength coaches over the years in order to avoid and prevent injury and also rehab current injuries that I'd had in the past. I put a lot of time and effort and money into my body and into ensuring that I can race a full Ironman, not just one, but continue to do them and only get stronger as I get older. I don't want to just fall apart. I mean, I'm 31 right now, but I don't want to just like keep keep training and get all that energy out to the point where I actually like break down. I want to ensure that I can keep training and racing until my 60s or 70s. So with that said, I moved to Boulder back in 2018 to train for my full Ironman, and I ended up meeting with Aaron Carson, who is a strength coach for pro Ironman triathletes like Miranda Carfrae and Tim O'Donnell, and she taught me a lot about my body and a lot about strength training. One thing I really took away was to ensure to roll out before each big session, whether it be a strength session or an endurance session. So before I go for a run or a bike in particular, I will ensure to roll out, and I'm going to show you exactly what forms of rolling out that I was taught by my physical therapist, and I will show you what areas are really important to roll out before you go for a run or bike session, or even strengthening or swim for that matter. And these exercises are ones that my physical therapist and my strength coach both taught me to do. They're something that I really keep up with my daily routine when it comes to Ironman training or just training in general. Really important to roll out before each exercise, so let's dive in. You know guys, it's actually worth saying that the band is something you want to work up to when it comes to physical therapy. If you're already injured and you're trying to like rehab an injury, you don't want to go straight into using a band because that may aggravate your injury even more so. All of these exercises I had to start out with not using the band, and then I had to work my way up to it. I had to use a really light glute band. I couldn't use a heavy one like this. This is what I've had to work up to, and so this is what's really ensuring that I keep that strength going to avoid injury. If you're just starting out, do not use a band. Try and just do these exercises exactly as they are, but without them. Okay, so this one is called a calves bilateral. The most important area to roll out, especially if you're a runner, is the lower part of your calf. I also like to roll out the middle and upper areas of my calf as well. So you want to put one leg over the other if you can. If not, it's okay to go like this, or it's okay to just put one leg down and roll like this as well. But if possible, and if you're doing a lot of training, then it's great to kind of get that extra weight on that calf to really massage it out and get that myofascial tissue released. And I ran 9 miles yesterday, so I'm in a little bit of pain in my lower calf. So I like to go like this, personally speaking, if I just did a big run, and roll all areas of the lower calf. Same with the other side. When it comes to the mid calf, I'm a little bit more lenient. It's a little less painful, so I find that I can cross at that point to do the upper. And you want to move inward, middle, and outward. And you want to follow the same procedure on both calves. So straight, inward, outward. All right, so the next one is going to be a foam roll TFL. Now this is kind of a tough spot to find, even to this day. It's kind of in this area right here, kind of like your frontal hip area. I'll try and show a diagram right here on the screen to see if it kind of relates. My physical therapist essentially said that you really want to feel this when you're rolling it out, and you will feel it if you're getting to that specific TFL muscle. So if I'm working the left TFL muscle, I'll want to use the foam roller like so. Essentially, I will have this leg upwards, and I'll be kind of forward slash to the side. You could also go like this. For some reason, I really feel this more on my right than my left. It's right kind of in that hip divot area. And you can even hold it there to really maximize that massage that you're trying to get in that area. And for that, you'll want to kind of hold it over the sore spot. This next one is a glute piriformis rollout. And this is really common. I'm sure you've seen people do this in the gym. Cross one leg over the other. Ensure that your glute is on the roller. You don't want both glutes to be on the roller, just one, because we're trying to have it be targeted to one side right now. And then you roll back and forth. This one feels really nice because oftentimes we don't get that glute massage, and it's just after like a long run or ride, it definitely targets those muscles that we want to kind of loosen up a little bit after such glute activation with ride or run. So I'll show you the other side. Again, crossing that leg over, ensuring that you're just working that one glute. Now, if you're a runner, then you'll experience some inner knee pain. A lot of us will kind of get some tightness up here in the groin area, especially when it comes to running and cycling, because we're kind of in one position going straight. So we don't really get the opportunity to stretch that too much. So I like to do a groin rollout. This is something I also incorporate before every workout. So you kind of want to get on the ground, get into like almost like a plank position, and just roll. Feels really great after a long run. This next one is an adductor roll, and you're gonna be kind of rolling the inside of your knee here, which if you experience some MCL pain, this is kind of where you're gonna wanna roll out. Again, very much depending, because it can end up hurting it more so you just wanna be really careful with that. But I ensure to always roll this out as well. It feels really great, and it kind of releases the area there. As you're doing the groin stretch, which is in this kind of planked position, all you're gonna wanna do is move the foam roller a little bit further out, roll this area like so. You're really gonna get the adductor area. Another great roll is the hamstring roll. So you're gonna just roll out your hamstring like so. This one's another given, but it's a quadricep rollout. And with this one, you're just gonna wanna roll out. I'll even go further back to get that upper hip area. It's a great stretch and a great rollout. We'll do a lat roll, and this is great for swimming before you go in the pool. Feel it just kind of roll back and forward. And then last but not least, I like to do this lower back rollout. that rollout is what I try and do before every single strength or endurance exercise. And it doesn't have to take that long. All in all, I do a few rolls on each area, so it doesn't end up being more than like 5 minutes. It could be more, it could be less. And I try and roll out at least 3 times a week. Ideally, it should be like 5 to 7. However, that's kind of what I can fit in, so you gotta figure out what works for you. Now I'm gonna show you guys what I do with the band when it comes to these exercises. This first one is called clamshells. This band is really tight. It's something that really works for me when it comes to glute activation. There are many different strengths of these bands that you can grab. I just like the thicker, more difficult ones. So you're supposed to do 3 sets of 20, or sometimes I'll do 15 depending on the strength of the band. This is how it looks. You wanna make sure your knees are not this much in front of you, that your legs are back and you kind of are straight. You're not looking at your knees. If your knees are here, it's too close up. You wanna make sure to be further back so you can really feel that glute activation, and you wanna lift up. You're not lifting with your knee. You wanna lift with your glute. It's about glute activation. And this is what will help prevent those IT band issues, because the IT band starts all the way up here, goes all the way down to your outer knee. It's really important, especially before running or before riding, this glute activation work. I do that on both sides. Another one we're going to be doing is side lying fire hydrants. You can get a looser band, it'll be a little bit easier, and that's probably what you want to start with if you're just starting physical therapy. I'm at a little bit of an angle here so you can really see how to do these. It's a diagonal upward movement that you want to make with your leg, and you want to feel it in that glute. It's kind of like an extension of the clamshells. My leg is not just going up, it's going up and at a diagonal movement. That diagonal movement, if you have to put your hand in front of you like this, that's fine for balance. But again, you want to make sure you have that kind of straight form. You don't want to really be able to see your knees kind of kicking back almost, and also bring it up. You'll really feel it in your glutes, this one's really intense. So that was the side lying fire hydrant. We're going to be doing the regular fire hydrants now. So the fire hydrant is pretty much similar to the lying fire hydrants in that you want to go to diagonal and you're bringing it out and in. And you want to try and keep whatever leg is on the ground straight. You don't want to dip the hip, no hip dips. You want to keep your hips straight and activated on whatever knee or leg is on the floor, and then bring the other one out and forward. Really activate those glutes. You'll feel it in the glute that's being lifted. So I'm feeling it over here, and again, on a diagonal. And for that fire hydrant, you want to do 3 sets of 20 if you can. Without the band if you're just starting out, because they are hard. This one is going to be a wall squat and hold. You're going to want to hold for 20 seconds, and you're going to want to do 3 sets. You're going to want to be up against the wall, but I'll just show you the side view of what it should look like. And for this one, even if you're starting out, you want to use a light glute band. The whole purpose of being up against a wall, you want to be able to depend on that wall so that you can activate your glutes. If I'm just going in a squat like this, I might not activate my glutes if I'm not doing the squat properly. I might go too forward just to keep my balance. So if you have that wall up against you, you'll notice that you'll be able to activate those glutes more and kind of get to those muscles. For the sake of this video, I'm going to go up against this while keeping your legs outward. You don't want to cave them in. You want to keep them outward, holding that resistance, and you want to hold it for 20 seconds. And come on. This last one that I'm going to be doing is the glute bridge extension. This again would be done without a glute band, but if you've already built up to it and you're just trying to maintain that strength and prevent injury, then you want to be using the band. So let me show you how to do these. So my physical therapist actually had me doing 1 leg glute bridges. However, that was really hard for me since I was experiencing that injury. I didn't have much stability or balance. So I'm going to show you both variations, one that I started out with, and then I'll show you the 1-legged one. You want to be flat on the ground. You don't want to be able to fit your hand underneath your back. Lift your toes up in the air. Squeeze your glutes once you get to the top. Back down. And as you're coming up, you want to ensure you are pushing outwards on this band. You don't want to let this band just allow your legs to cave in. The whole point is to activate our glutes, so you want to keep it high and you want to keep your legs out so that you are giving that band some resistance and activating your glutes. And for these, you want to do 3 sets of 10. The alternative knee extension, I actually don't like using the band for this one because I find that it aggravates my knee. So this one you want to switch sides. So you want to lift 1 leg out, bring it up, activate the glute, put it down, come back down. Leg out, up, down, and down. Out, up, squeeze the glutes, down. You want to do 3 sets of 10 for these. This next one is called the Captain Morgan. It's something that my physical therapist told me to do with a pillow, or better yet, if you have a yoga ball, you have a ball like this sort of thing, that's great too. I don't have enough room in my house to use this sort of big ball, and I don't even know if you have one, so we're gonna just use a pillow right now. You're gonna wanna hold this for 30 seconds, and you're gonna wanna do 4 sets. Make sure that you're not depending on the wall, but there's a little bit of resistance there. Keep your knee on the outside, lightly bent at the knee. Just hold it there and push your leg up towards the wall. You'll start start to feel it in your glutes, you're just gonna wanna hold it there for 30 seconds. The purpose of this exercise is to really activate your glutes, learn that mind-muscle connection of when that glute is actually activated. It's gonna be this one that's gonna be activating. You're gonna wanna hold it for 30 seconds and you will start to feel this one. This next exercise is called star reaches, and you could use a towel, you could use, I'll show you these little things that I have that I actually forgot to show you guys earlier. You can pick them up on Amazon or CVS for really cheap, but this is about glute activation as well. So these are the sliders that I have. They're by Warrior Natural Fitness. I'll put them in the description box below. And this is how you would use these. You just put them on the floor, straight back, out, the side, diagonal, the front, and you'll feel that engagement. Now, if you don't have these, you can use a towel. The same deal, you wanna put your towel on the floor, hardwood floor so it moves around, and then you wanna do the same thing. Back, diagonal back, out, diagonal front, front, diagonal front, and repeat on both legs. You wanna do 5 times, 3 sets on each leg. Another band exercise is the standing single leg fire hydrant. This one I find will sometimes aggravate my knee a little bit, so I don't like to do it a lot, but for those of you out there, this is an exercise that my physical therapist really wanted me to do a lot, and it actually did end up helping with my training. Ideally, you want to get to the point where you don't have to hold on to anything, so by this stage, you should be able to stand there, activate your glute, and diagonally lift your leg out, your knee on the ground a little bit bent, not inward, not outward, but in front. You want it to be in line with your toes, and you will feel that activation. When first starting out, I would say don't use this, or use a very light glute band diagonally and forward, standing up, engaging your glutes, and you want to feel it back here. This is a really, really good one. And again, the band could aggravate knee injury, so avoid it if you'd like. For that one, you want to do 20 times and 3 sets. When it comes to rehab and preventing injury, stability is really important. And if you're a runner or triathlete, then ankle mobility and ankle strength is going to be really important. Just a few weeks ago, I was actually walking down the stairs and I rolled my ankle and it's still in pain. You want to have that ankle strength and mobility so that you can prevent injuries. Apparently, my patellar tendonitis that I'd had was kind of as a result of weak ankle mobility. So the goal with us was to really strengthen it, and that's what we did. So here's some of these exercises for ankle mobility. This one's called a standing gastric stretch. This is where you really want to target the lower areas of your calf muscle down here. So you want to go up straight against something where you can really bend into it, and you really want to activate that area of your calf, that lower area, for that ankle mobility. This one you're going to hold for 30 seconds. You're going to repeat twice. Ideally, you do this 3 times a day. It's not that painful of a stretch, but it really does go a long way. And here is the other ankle. You can do whatever you want with this other leg. I like to kind of do additional stretch with it while I'm stretching this ankle. And when you are doing this stretch, you want to make sure that your knee is perpendicular to your foot. Again, you don't want your knee to be bent inwards or bent outwards. You just want it to be perpendicular so you're really getting that full stretch. This next one is called ankle mobilization. So this one you're going to want to have a pad on whatever knee is going to be on the ground. So go ahead and use my mat here, bend it a little bit. So this knee is going to be on the pad while the other knee is going to be focusing on ankle mobilization here. You want to bend forward, again, not outwards, not inwards, but perpendicular, and bend that foot forward. You don't want your heel to come off the ground like that. You want to keep it on the ground and try and go as forward as you can to get that flexibility until, ideally, you touch the wall with your knee. The tip of my toes to the door, and I'm going to slowly dip my hip forward and back. Key share. You want to use your hip as a motion to bring yourself forward like that. Again, not taking your heel off the ground, keeping it on the ground. This next one is ankle dorsiflexion and self-mobilization. You're gonna wanna take this sort of a band and you're gonna wanna tie it around something. All right, once that's tied pretty tight, put your leg into it like so and kind of get it situated properly along your ankle. I don't know about you, but these physical therapy sessions can end up feeling a little bit like a workout. If you're not feeling a workout, then you're not really focusing on that mind-muscle connection enough and that activation. So you really want to get used to that glute activation and also ankle stability so that you can kind of keep that in mind when you're running and cycling and doing all other activities, even CrossFit training in the gym and strength training. So right now, I just want to show you the main areas where I will use this, which has been really great for massage after my workouts. One thing I want to say that's really important is that before these workouts, you want to roll out, right? But after, that's when you want to stretch. You don't want to stretch before your workouts because you want to actually get those muscles activated, or you want to do more mobility movements like swishing your leg back and forward to the side, doing jumps up to really get them warmed up, but you don't want to get them like loose, you know? After your workouts, that's when you want to stretch and kind of loosen them up a little bit and use the massager to really get deep in there in the areas where you really utilized a lot during your workouts, those muscle groups that you really utilize. For me, after my runs and after my rides, I tend to have a lot of hip tightness. And I'll even do this as I'm icing my knee. Like I'll have my leg up, I'll be icing my knee maybe, or my ankle or whatnot. Just those areas that I feel a little bit are inflamed because I worked them really hard. And I wanna go right in here, great area, that hip flexor. It's a little divot in your hip right here. I think it's a TFL, and this just feels really great after a run. Glutes, another good area, like right here. I'll even do like some calves, lower calves here, wherever else you really feel that you need it. But this is a really great tool. Sometimes I'll go on my shoulder a little bit depending on the swim. There's like a little area right here, which feels great. Those are really the kind of area, the key areas that I like to focus on after my training. This is great for your foot. I'm sure you guys have seen these before. So just take your shoe off. You can take your sock off too. Ideally you want to be standing up, but it doesn't really matter. Roll out. Again, really great after a run. I tend to use a tennis ball in my lower back. Be sure to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to see more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.